right into the person.
I don't know how to respond to that, but we will certainly keep that in consideration. And our goal is certainly to make sure that pedestrians.
There's one other thing, not to unduly complicate this, is that I'm guessing the fire bureau is going to have a voice in this conversation too. Because if you, every time you create a barrier, you also have to balance that against, are you making it harder for an emergency vehicle to get to? And the picture there, the fence and the multiple barriers, you're getting to a point where if something's immovable, it may be impossible to get an emergency vehicle or something. You have to balance a number of things.
Right.
I particularly like the mayor's idea, though, of a sturdier barrier. They're still movable, but they're sturdier, protecting right the water people rather than the construction site.
Yeah, you're not going to spend any more money to put them in slightly different places. So.
Hi, I'm Christine Leon with Keith. So just one of the things about the concrete versus the water-filled barriers is the issue of the end treatment. So the conflict or the danger with the concrete barriers is if the head-on collision happens with a vehicle, then that driver is dead. That car is crashed. The water-filled are something that the crash impacts attenuators will be more forgiving so that that driver and that car is not totaled. So that's the difference. They both rely on friction of the surface and they're interlocked. But with the concrete barriers, you need to do this extra length of a protection area or put some more barrels in front of it. It just takes up more space. So, but I think the idea of putting the barriers between the moving vehicles and the pedestrians certainly is a wise thing.
I should be able to describe into the details. Just do math. Thank you.
I think it might be, I think Commissioner Fritz is raising the point, are we protecting the driver at the expense of the pedestrians? I'd be curious if are there instances where drivers drive through the Jersey barrier using a pedestrian, or do we generally see right the Jersey barriers are protected from pedestrians?
There's a whole science to the temporary traffic control. So, the other thing is we have slower speeds that can also help make construction zones safer, more enforcement, make sure things are visible. I'm sure we have some accident information in our active transportation and on what the rate of accidents, crashes are through construction zones versus non-construction zones.
I would also like to see the data on the protection of the pedestrian site as to the Jersey barriers versus the
Okay.
Go on, please.
Contractors have been responding by taking the responsibility and putting in place the requirements that we have already been working with them on. So we started working with them about a year and a half ago before this resolution has come into place, and they have done a really good job of responding and changing the way that they're looking at their work sites, making their plans up front different in the way that they approach a work site. And that sometimes this is going to cost them more, and it's going to maybe take them longer to be able to complete their job. But we found a lot of contractors really willing to try to make sure that they're providing a safe accommodation for bikes and pedestrians. This particular location is just demonstrating a worker at a job site, making sure that the bike lane is clear. So what the solution is to provide walkways adjacent to job sites wherever practicable. So not every job site and not every sidewalk is going to be accommodated. There is a lot of unsafe situations when the construction is happening that we still will need to have some sidewalks closed and that we won't be able to accommodate pedestrian walkways because of safety. But we are working with contractors to develop new ways to approach a work site and working with our temporary traffic control engineers, they review the plans that are submitted by the contractors when they're asking for use of the right-of-way. There are some cases where we ask a contractor to perform a traffic management study to demonstrate to us why there is not any other way than to close the sidewalk.
Businesses, as long as they make under $100,000.
The other part of this is that for job sites, we want to make sure that we are providing walkways that have ramps for people with disabilities. So this is consistent with the PBOT Vision Zero goals, and we're working together to ensure that people can safely and conveniently walk and use mobility devices through work zones wherever possible.
Was there any, was mentioned about motion sensitive with quotable signs as part of this?
So we have talked about that, and I mean, it's something that we're investigating. The requirement is that whatever the walkway was before, whatever the condition or the level of